Kody Brown has spent years trying to convince the world he's still a catch, still desirable, still the man multiple women would fight over. But here's the thing, when you have to work that hard to prove you're wanted, you're probably not. And in a jaw-dropping moment from the latest Sister Wives teaser, Kody sat down with Robyn to tell her about a mysterious letter from a woman who allegedly wants to join their family. He's grinning, he's posturing, he's practically waiting for Robyn to swoon with jealousy. Instead, she looks at him like he just tracked mud through her freshly cleaned mansion. Her face says it all. Why are you telling me this? And more importantly, why are you telling me this on camera? This isn't just another awkward Kody moment. This is the sound of a man desperately grasping at relevance while his wife sits there, stone-faced, radiating an energy that can only be described as the ick. For years, we've watched Kody spiral after his 3 original wives walked away. He's been obsessed with one question. Does Robyn still see him as valuable now that he's no longer the polygamist prize he once was? Spoiler alert, Robyn has told him repeatedly that's not the problem. The problem is how he treats her. But Kody, in true Kody fashion, hasn't been listening. What makes this moment even more explosive is what we're not seeing anymore. The careful edits, the protective cuts, the polished storylines that used to shield Kody and Robyn from their own mess. Those days are over, the new production team isn't playing nice, and suddenly we're getting raw, unfiltered footage of a couple who can't keep their lies straight. Kody stumbles over his words, trying to explain why he deleted this alleged letter before showing it to Robyn. Wait, you can delete a letter? Don't you mean you threw it away? The details don't add up, and Robyn knows it. She asks point blank if he's actually interested in another wife, and Kody scrambles to backpedal. But here's what's really happening beneath the surface. Kody is trying to manufacture jealousy, trying to remind Robyn that other women still want him. It's a desperate power play, and it's failing spectacularly. Because Robyn isn't jealous, she's annoyed. Her body language this season has been nothing short of glacial. There's no warmth, no passion, no connection. Just 2 people trapped in a marriage that's crumbling on camera, and a production team that's finally letting us see every uncomfortable second of it. The protection is gone, the editing safety net has vanished. And what we're left with is Kody and Robyn, exposed and unraveling, hostages to a show they can't afford to quit. This isn't just bad television, this is the beginning of the end, playing out in real time. And honestly, we're here for every messy, unscripted second of it. For years, Kody and Robyn Brown have enjoyed something most reality TV stars can only dream of: editorial privilege, the kind of behind-the-scenes protection that turns messy moments into polished storylines, that cuts out the uncomfortable stumbles and leaves only the narrative they want you to see. They've had time to rehearse their talking points, coordinate their stories, and present a united front that looked almost believable. But that era is officially over, and the shift is so obvious it's practically screaming at us through the screen. The new production team that took over Sister Wives isn't handling Kody and Robyn with kid gloves. They're not giving them the gracious edit. They're not cutting away when things get awkward or when the lies start to unravel. Instead, they're letting the cameras roll, capturing every stumble, every contradiction, every moment where Kody and Robyn realize they haven't gotten their story straight. And the result? Pure, unfiltered chaos that's more entertaining than anything the show has given us in years. Watch Robyn's couch interviews from earlier this season. She's stuttering through explanations about why they needed to sell their perfectly spacious mansion to buy an even bigger one. Kody's kids, we need space for our big human family. She's fumbling, grasping for words because she hasn't rehearsed this answer. She's lying on the fly, and it shows. In the old days, production would have either coached her through a better take or cut the footage entirely. Now, they're leaving it in, and we're watching her credibility dissolve in real time. Kody's having the same problem. In this letter situation, he starts explaining himself and then realizes mid-sentence that his story doesn't make sense. He deleted the letter. Wait, no. He wanted to tell Robyn everything, but he also wanted to keep it to himself? The logic is falling apart as he speaks, and you can see the moment he knows he's dug himself into a hole. The producers of yesteryear would have saved him from himself. These producers, they're letting him drown, and honestly, it's glorious to witness. This shift isn't just about bad editing choices or unflattering angles. This is about a fundamental change in power dynamics. Kody and Robyn used to control their narrative. They used to have time to prepare, to spin, to manipulate the story into something that made them look better. Now they're being ambushed with questions they haven't rehearsed answers for, and the mask is slipping faster than they can fix it. The protection is gone, the safety net has vanished, and what we're seeing now is the real Kody and Robyn, unprepared, unconvincing, and utterly unable to maintain the fan fantasy they've been selling for years. The cameras aren't lying for them anymore, and that changes everything. Let's dig into this letter situation because the more you examine it, the shadier it gets. Kody sits Robyn down and tells her about this mystery woman who allegedly sent him a letter. According to Kody, this woman was chastising him for abandoning plural marriage, but then in the same breath, she was asking to join the family as a potential sister wife. Already, the story doesn't make sense. Why would someone scold you for quitting polygamy and then immediately volunteer to be part of that same failed system? It's like yelling at someone for closing a restaurant and then asking for a reservation. Robyn's face during this conversation is everything. She's not flattered, she's not jealous, she's suspicious, and she has every right to be. Because Kody then drops this bizarre detail, he deleted the letter. He deleted it because he wanted to keep it to himself. But then he decided to tell Robyn everything because she's his sweetheart, and he shares everything with her, except apparently the actual letter. The one piece of evidence that could prove his story is true, gone. Conveniently erased before Robyn could see it with her own eyes. Now let's pause here for a reality check. You can delete an email, you can delete a text message or a direct message, but a physical letter? You throw that away, you toss it, you shred it, you don't delete it. The language Kody uses here is telling, and it makes you wonder if this letter ever existed at all. Or maybe it did exist, but it said something completely different from what Kody is claiming, and he got rid of it before Robyn could read the real contents. Robyn asked the question we're all thinking. Are you bringing this up because you're actually interested in another wife? It's a direct, no-nonsense question, and Kody fumbles hard. He stumbles through a weird explanation about how he's gotten tons of these kinds of letters over the years, and he never responds to them. So why mention this one? Why now? Why on camera? If this is such a regular occurrence that Kody just brushes off, why is he making a whole scene about it in front of Robyn and the production crew? The answer is obvious. Kody is trying to make Robyn jealous. He's trying to remind her that other women still find him desirable, that he's still got options, that she better appreciate what she has before he takes his crunchy curls elsewhere. It's a manipulation tactic, plain and simple. But here's the problem. Robyn isn't buying it. She's not threatened. She's annoyed. And more than that, she's questioning his version of events, which tells you everything you need to know about the state of trust in this marriage. If Robyn trusted Kody, she'd take him at his word. But she doesn't. And that lack of trust, that's the real story here. Here's the part that makes this whole situation even more frustrating. Robyn has been crystal clear about what's destroying their marriage. She's said it on camera, she's said it in couch interviews, she's probably said it behind closed doors more times than we can count. The problem isn't that Kody's other wives left him. The problem isn't that he's no longer a polygamist. The problem is how Kody treats her. It's his attitude. It's his mood swings. It's the way he's become a moody butthole, as Robyn so eloquently put it. Let's rewind to what Robyn actually said in her confessional. Kody got into his head that my issues with him were because he didn't have other wives. Yes, I want to live plural marriage, but the splits didn't make him less valuable to me. That's not how I feel at all. What I struggled with was how he was treating me and how he was acting. He was hard, you know? And I had to sit there and explain this to him, that you were a moody butthole. She spelled it out. She gave him the answer. She told him exactly what needed to change. And what did Kody do with that information? Absolutely nothing. He didn't retain a single word. He didn't process it. He didn't reflect on his behavior or consider that maybe, just maybe, Robyn was right. Instead, he kept spiraling in his own insecurities, convinced that his value as a man was tied to how many women wanted him. He's obsessed with being desirable, with being wanted, with proving that he's still a hot commodity. Meanwhile, Robyn is sitting there screaming into the void that desire isn't the issue, respect is. For years on the show, we've watched Kody worry about whether his divorces made him look like a loser to Robyn. He was terrified that losing Mary, Janelle, and Christine would somehow diminish his worth in Robyn's eyes, but Robyn has been telling him over and over again that the divorces themselves aren't the problem. The problem is that Kody became bitter, angry, and impossible to live with. He took his frustrations out on Robyn. He treated her poorly. He made their marriage miserable. Not because he wasn't a polygamist anymore, but because he turned into someone she didn't want to be around. And now, in season 20, Kody is still missing the point. He's trying to prove his desirability by mentioning mystery letters from random women. He's flexing on special forces, showing off his abs, trying to remind everyone that he's still got it. But none of that matters if the woman he's married to can't stand being in the same room with him. You can have the best body in the world, Kody, but if your personality is trash, nobody's gonna want you. Least of all your wife. Robyn told him the truth. He just refuses to hear it. Fast forward to season 20, and Kody is in full peacock mode. He's not just trying to prove he's desirable, he's practically shouting it from the rooftops. We're watching this bizarre, horned-up version of Kody who seems determined to convince everyone, including Robyn, that she should still be madly attracted attracted to him. He's flexing, he's flirting, he's making uncomfortable attempts to reignite passion in front of her kids, in front of cameras, in front of God and everybody. And it's one of the most cringe things this show has ever aired. Let's be real for a second. Hair aside, Kody did show up on Special Forces with some legitimate abs. He prepped for that show and it shows. The man put in work physically and you can see the results. But here's the thing, being in good physical shape doesn't automatically make you attractive to your spouse, especially when your personality is the equivalent of nails on a chalkboard. Robyn isn't sitting at home thinking, wow, I wish Kody had better abs. She's thinking, I wish Kody would stop treating me like garbage and actually listen when I talk. In past episodes this season, we've watched Kody try to rev up Robyn's engine in the most awkward ways possible. He's strutting around like he's some irresistible catch, trying to spark jealousy, trying to remind her of what she's got. But every single time, Robyn's body language tells a completely different story. She's cold, she's distant, she's giving off energy that screams, please stop touching me. Talnamia, there's zero warmth between them, zero chemistry, zero indication that anything romantic is happening behind closed doors. The ick is real, and it's not subtle. When someone has the ick, you can see it in everything they do. The way they pull away when their partner tries to touch them. The way they avoid eye contact. The way they stiffen up when affection is attempted. Robyn has all the signs. She's not attracted to Kody anymore, and no amount of peacocking or flexing or desperate attempts at flirtation is going to change that. The connection is dead, and they both know it. What makes this even more painful to watch is that Kody genuinely seems to believe his act is working. He thinks if he just shows off enough, if he just reminds Robyn that other women want him, she'll suddenly snap out of whatever funk she's in and fall back in love with him. But that's not how attraction works. You can't guilt someone into desiring you can't manipulate someone into passion, and you definitely can't peacock your way out of years of treating your partner poorly. Robyn has the ick, and once the ick sets in, it's almost impossible to reverse. Kody can flex all he wants. He can tell her about mystery letters. He can strut around like he's the hottest thing on reality television. But none of it matters, because Robyn isn't buying what he's selling anymore. There's a tell that liars have when they're caught off guard. They stumble, they stutter, they fumble for words because they haven't had time to rehearse the lie. And this season, we're seeing Kody and Robyn do exactly that more times than we can count. It's not subtle, it's not occasional, it's happening repeatedly, and it's one of the clearest signs that the protection they used to enjoy from production is completely gone. Take Robyn's couch interview about selling their mansion. This was a house that had plenty of space. It was massive, it could easily accommodate their family, grandkids, whoever needed to visit. But suddenly, they're selling it to buy an even bigger house. And when Robyn tries to explain why, she falls apart. She's stuttering through her answer like she's making it up as she goes. Grandkids, Kody's kids, we still need a big house because we have a big human family. It's painful to watch because you can actually see her brain scrambling to come up with something that sounds believable. And here's the bold truth. She's lying. She hadn't thought through how she was going to sell this narrative to the cameras, so she's doing it on the fly, and it shows. The old production team would have either given her time to prepare a better answer, or they would have reshot the segment until she got it right. But these new producers, they're leaving it in. They're letting the world see Robyn stumble through a lie that doesn't hold up under even the lightest scrutiny. Kody's doing the same thing with this letter situation. He starts explaining himself, and halfway through, you can see the moment he realizes his story doesn't make sense. He deleted the letter, but he wanted to show Robyn, but he also wanted to keep it to himself. But then he decided to tell her everything. The logic is collapsing in real time, and he knows it. His words are tripping over each other, and he's scrambling to course correct before he digs the hole any deeper. In the past, Kody and Robyn have lied plenty on this show, but most of the time they've had the luxury of getting their stories straight beforehand. They've coordinated, they've rehearsed, they've made sure their version of events lines up, and on top of that, the former production team gave them editorial privileges. They got a gracious edit that smoothed over the rough spots and made them look better than they actually were. But now, they're being ambushed. They're being asked questions they haven't prepared for, and they're forced to answer on camera without a script. The result is a mess of contradictions, stumbles, and lies that fall apart the second they leave their mouths. The new producers aren't cutting these moments out. They're not giving Kody and Robyn a do-over. They're letting the footage speak for itself, and what it's saying is loud and clear. These two can't keep their lies straight anymore. Here's the twist that makes this whole situation even more delicious. Kody and Robyn are trapped. They can't quit the show no matter how bad it gets. They can't walk away no matter how much the new producers expose them because they need the money. Sister Wives isn't just a television gig for them anymore. It's their lifeline. It's how they're paying for that massive mansion. It's how they're funding their lifestyle. And without that TLC paycheck, their entire world collapses. Think about it. Kody doesn't have a real job outside of the show. Robyn's not pulling in significant income from anywhere else. Their failed businesses like My Sister Wife's Closet went nowhere. They're not exactly swimming in opportunities or alternative revenue streams. So even though the cameras are now documenting their marriage falling apart in the most humiliating ways possible, they can't leave. They're financially dependent on a show that's no longer protecting them. They're hostages to the very platform that's exposing their dysfunction. And the producers know it. That's why they're not handling Kody and Robyn with kid gloves anymore. They don't have to. Kody and Robyn have zero leverage. They need this show more than the show needs them. Sister Wives has been on the air for years, and let's be honest, the most compelling content has always been watching this family implode. The divorces, the drama, the dysfunction, that's what keeps viewers coming back. And now that we're watching Kody and Robyn's marriage crumble in real time, that's pure gold for ratings. The power dynamic has completely flipped. For years, Kody and Robyn had control. They could influence how they were portrayed. They could negotiate for favorable edits. They could push back if they didn't like how something was presented. But now, they're in survival mode. They're showing up, doing the interviews, and praying that the paycheck clears. Because without it, they're sunk. This is why we're seeing footage that would have been cut in previous seasons. This is why we're hearing them stumble through lies that don't add up. This is why uncomfortable moments are being left in instead of edited out. The producers have all the power now, and Kody and Robyn are dancing like puppets on strings they can't cut. They have to perform. They have to show up. They have to keep doing these cringe-worthy interviews and awkward on-camera moments because they literally cannot afford to stop. It's actually kind of poetic. Kody spent years controlling his narrative, manipulating situations, and treating people however he wanted because he thought he had all the power. But now the tables have turned. He's the one being controlled. He's the one being manipulated. He's the one who has to sit there and take it while cameras document every messy, embarrassing, unfiltered second of his life falling apart, and there's nothing he can do about it except smile, nod, and cash the check. Make no mistake about what we're witnessing here. This isn't just awkward television. This isn't just uncomfortable moments or bad editing choices. What we're seeing is the early stages of Kody and Robyn's marriage falling apart on camera in real time with no filter and no escape. And honestly, it's the most compelling content Sister Wives has given us in years. For anyone who's fallen off watching the show and just keeps up through content creator recaps, now is the time to tune back in. Because what's happening right now is historic. We're watching a marriage that's been propped up as the golden relationship, the one that survived while all the others crumbled, finally start to crack under its own weight. And the cameras aren't looking away, they're zooming in. They're capturing every flinch, every cold shoulder, every moment of disconnect between two people who are pretending everything is fine when it clearly isn't. Robyn's body language this season has been nothing short of frigid. There's no passion, there's no warmth, there's no indication whatsoever that anything romantic or intimate is happening between them behind closed doors. When Kody tries to touch her, she stiffens. When he tries to flirt, she deflects. When he tries to manufacture jealousy or spark desire, she looks at him like he's a stranger. She's forced to tolerate. The connection is gone, and it's painfully obvious to anyone watching. And here's what makes this even more fascinating. Kody is completely oblivious. He genuinely doesn't seem to understand that his marriage is in crisis. He thinks if he just keeps performing, if he just keeps flexing and peacocking and reminding Robyn that other women want him, everything will magically fix itself. But that's not how relationships work. You can't fake intimacy, you can't force attraction, and you definitely can't manipulate someone into loving you again after years of treating them poorly. What we're seeing play out is the natural consequence of everything Kody has done. He prioritized Robyn over his other wives for years, and those relationships died. Now he's treating Robyn the same way he treated them, and surprise, this relationship is dying too. The pattern is repeating itself, and Kody is too self-absorbed to see it. He's so focused on how he's perceived, on whether he looks desirable, on maintaining some fantasy version of himself, that he's completely missing the reality of what's happening right in front of him. Robyn, meanwhile, is checked out. She's going through the motions. She's showing showing up for the cameras because she has to, but the light is gone, the enthusiasm is gone. Whatever love or attraction she once felt for Kody has been buried under years of disappointment, frustration, and resentment. And now we're all watching it die in slow motion. This is appointment television. This is the kind of reality TV that people will talk about for years because it's real, it's raw, and it's absolutely brutal to witness. Let's connect the dots here because Kody's delusion didn't start this season. This has been building for years. Ever since Mary, Janelle, and Christine left him, Kody has been spiraling in the same obsessive thought pattern. Do these divorces devalue me to Robyn? Does getting dumped make me less sexy? Does Robyn still want me the same way now that I'm no longer the polygamist prize I used to be? He's been spinning in this cycle of insecurity, convinced that his worth as a man is directly tied to how many women desire him. But here's the truth: Kody refuses to accept. His value was never the problem. His behavior was, his attitude was, the way he treated people was. When his other wives were leaving him one by one, Kody wasn't concerned about their pain or their reasons for walking away. He was worried about how it made him look. He was worried about his image. He was worried about whether Robyn would still see him as attractive. It was always about him, always about his ego, always about his need to be wanted and validated. And now, years later, he's still playing the same tired game. He's still trying to manufacture jealousy. He's still trying to prove he's desirable. He's still convinced that if he can just show Robyn that other women want him, she'll suddenly realize what she has and fall back in love with him. But that strategy didn't work with his other wives, and it's not working with Robyn either. Because you can't manipulate someone into loving you. You can't guilt them into desire. And you can't peacock your way out of years of terrible treatment. Kody is trying to sell a fantasy that nobody's buying anymore. He's trying to convince viewers, and probably himself, that he's happily married, that Robyn adores him, that their relationship is solid and unshakable, but the evidence says otherwise. Every interaction between them this season has been strained. Every attempt at affection has been awkward. Every moment they're on camera together, you can feel the tension radiating off the screen. This is the same pattern Kody followed at the beginning of Sister Wives. Back then, he was overselling how happy his plural marriage was, how functional his family was, how in love all his wives were with him. He thought if he performed happiness convincingly enough, it would become real. But it didn't. The cracks showed. The dysfunction became impossible to hide. And eventually, the whole thing collapsed. Now he's doing it again with Robyn. He's performing, he's posturing, he's trying so hard to convince everyone that this marriage is thriving, when anyone with eyes can see it's barely surviving. He's selling a lie, and the market isn't buying. Robyn isn't buying it. Viewers aren't buying it, and deep down, Kody probably knows he's not buying it either, but he's too proud, too stubborn, and too delusional to admit the truth. So he keeps performing, keeps flexing, keeps pretending, and we keep watching it all fall apart. So here we are watching the slow motion collapse of a marriage that was supposed to be the one that survived. The golden relationship, the love story that conquered all. Kody and Robyn were supposed to prove that true love could weather any storm, that their connection was unbreakable, that they were different from all the failed relationships that came before them. But the cameras don't lie anymore. And what they're showing us is a couple barely holding it together, trapped in a performance they can no longer control. The question everyone's asking now is simple. How long can this last? How long can Kody and Robyn keep pretending their marriage is solid when every piece of footage says otherwise? How long can they maintain this facade when the production team is no longer helping them sell the illusion? The answer is probably not much longer, because the truth has a way of coming out, especially when cameras are rolling 24/7 and you can't afford to walk away. Robyn has the ick, and that's not something you just get over. Once that switch flips, once the attraction dies and the disgust sets in, it's almost impossible to reverse. Every little thing Kody does now probably irritates her. The way he talks, the way he moves, the way he tries to touch her, it all grates on her nerves. She's stuck in a marriage with someone she can no longer stand, and she's doing it all on camera for a paycheck she desperately needs. Kody, meanwhile, is still living in his own fantasy world. He's still convinced he's the prize. He's still trying to make Robyn jealous with stories about other women wanting him. He's still flexing and peacocking and performing like any of it matters. But it doesn't, because the woman he's trying to impress is already gone emotionally. She's checked out. She's just going through the motions until what? Until the show gets canceled? Until the money runs out? until one of them finally admits out loud what we're all watching happen in silence. The facade is cracking, and there's no editing magic that can fix it anymore. The new producers aren't interested in protecting Kody and Robyn's image. They're interested in ratings, and nothing gets better ratings than watching a marriage implode in real time. So they're going to keep filming, they're going to keep asking uncomfortable questions, they're going to keep capturing every awkward moment, every cold interaction, every sign that this relationship is on life support. And Kody and Robyn, they're gonna keep showing up because they have no choice. They need the money, they need the platform, they need Sister Wives. Even as Sister Wives exposes everything they've been trying to hide. They're hostages to their own dysfunction. Performers in a show they can no longer script. Prisoners of a narrative they've lost control of. The cameras won't lie for them anymore. The producers won't protect them anymore. And the truth is finally catching up. So what do you think? How much longer can Kody and Robyn keep this act going before everything collapses completely? Drop your thoughts below. Like, subscribe, and stay tuned. The next video is waiting, and you won't believe what's coming next.